This timeline stretches across thousands of years, capturing moments when great teachers arose to guide humanity. Each brought new light, fresh moral vision, and social renewal. Their messages built upon what came before, weaving a single human story. The phrase, "I am," found in many traditions, reminds us of a deep truth, that the divine presence speaks to humanity in every age, using the language, culture, and needs of the time. Today, as we move along this 12-foot journey, we'll see how those voices, though separated by centuries and continents, are united in purpose. Here's the physical heart of our presentation, over 12 feet of history made tangible. This isn't just a string of dates, it's a living thread of memory. Civilizations rise and fall along its length. New faiths emerge, shaping societies and transforming hearts. As we walk our eyes along it, notice how the spiritual and material are intertwined, how moments of revelation often spark changes in law, culture, and human relationships. This is the unfolding conversation between heaven and earth. Welcome. In the brief time we have together, let us create a small sanctuary, a place of stillness, in the middle of our day, where words from many paths remind us that beneath all differences, the human heart beats with the same longing for truth, peace, and love. So powerful is the light of unity, it can illuminate the whole earth. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. Hatred is never appeased by hatred in this world, but by non-hatred alone is hatred appeased. We are all related, all people, all animals, all plants, all life. Across centuries, across continents, and across traditions, humanity has returned again and again to the truth that we are all bound together. We might express it through different names, stories, or rituals, but at the heart of it is the same message, that your well-being is tied to mine, that my dignity is bound up in yours, that wisdom is not the property of one people, but a gift entrusted to all. Today, in this short gathering, we are like travelers, parting together at the same well. Each of us has come from a different road, but here the water refreshes us equally. A Sufi tale tells us of a wise man who was asked, "Where is the road to God?" He replied, "Just walk towards the people. Every step towards them is a step towards Him." When we walk towards one another, listening, learning, serving, we are walking towards the divine. Moses stands at a turning point in the history of faith, lawgiver, liberator, prophet. He shaped the destiny of the Israelites and through them left an indelible mark on Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and the Baha'i faith. His mission wasn't just to free a people from bondage, but to form a covenant between God and humanity, one grounded in justice, morality, and worship. Through Moses, divine law became the backbone of a people's identity, showing how spiritual guidance can anchor a civilization. In the burning bush encounter, Moses hears God's self-revelation. I am who I am. This is more than a name. It is a statement of eternal being, a presence unbounded by time or place. In Hebrew, the phrase hints at both I am and I will be, speaking to God's constancy and living relationship with humanity. It tells us that the divine is not a distant idea, but an active guiding force present in every age. This I Am becomes a thread linking prophets across millennia. Zoroaster arose in ancient Iran, challenging the religious traditions of his day with a vision centered on truth, order, and the worship of the one creator, Ahura Mazda. His teachings emphasized moral choice, good thoughts, good words, good deeds, and shaped the ethical framework of empires. Zoroastrian influence rippled far beyond Persia, leaving traces in later Jewish, Christian, and Islamic thought. Here again we see a divine message breathing new life into civilization, giving it spiritual and moral direction. In Zoroastrian scriptures, God declares, I am the protector. I am the creator. I am the all-seeing. This cascading list of attributes is a litany of reassurance, reminding followers the divine is both powerful and near, a source of life and moral order. It echoes the I Am of Moses' encounter, showing that across cultures humanity hears the divine voice, affirming identity, presence, and care. These affirmations give shape to how societies understand the sacred and their place within it. Krishna, one of Hinduism's most beloved figures, is seen as the 8th avatar of Vishnu, and for many the supreme Godhead himself. He embodies protection, compassion, tenderness, and love. Through his life and teachings, Krishna reveals the joy and beauty of divine relationship, how this sacred draws close to the human heart. His stories and songs are not just myths, but living guidance, shaping culture, art, and devotion for millions. In Krishna, the I Am is expressed as a source of all attraction and love. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna declares, I am the origin of all creation. Everything proceeds from me. This I Am speaks of the divine as the fountainhead of life and the sustaining presence behind all that exists. It is a reminder that creation is not separated from its creator, that every moment, every breath is held within that eternal source. It connects to us other traditions where God proclaims I Am, uniting humanity's understanding of the sacred across continents. Liao's, the legendary sage of Taoism, is said to have lived in China during the 6th century before Christ, writing the Tao Te Ching, before retreating into the wilderness. His vision is not of a God who commands, but of a way, the Tao, that underlines and harmonizes all life. In a time of political unrest, Liao's teachings offered balance and inner stillness. His words remind us that spiritual truth can take many forms, sometimes as laws, sometimes as love, sometimes as a path of natural harmony. Here, the I Am is quoted, but quiet, but profound. Those who are good, I am good to them. Those who are not good, I am also good to them. In Taoism, the I Am does not speak from a throne, but from the heart of the way itself, offering kindness without condition and belief without prejudice. It shows another face of the divine, patient, accepting, and always working for harmony even when unseen. Siddhartha Gautama the Buddha was born into privilege, but turned away from wealth to seek the end of suffering. Through deep meditation, he awakened to the truth that life's pain can be overcome through compassion, ethical living, and inner transformation. His message, like others before and after, was not just personal, but civilizational, creating monastic communities, inspiring art and literature, shaping the moral life and entire cultures. His awakening rippled through Asia and the world. The Buddha's I am is one of humility. I am not the first Buddha, nor shall I be the last. This acknowledges the long chain of enlightened beings who guide humanity in every age. It reflects the principle of progressive revelation. The truth is renewed in different times and places, always suited to the needs of the moment. The Buddha invites us to see ourselves as part of an ongoing story. Confucius lived in a time of political disorder, offering a vision rooted in virtue, respect, and social harmony. His teachings shaped Chinese society for over 2 millennia, guiding government, education, and family life. Confucianism shows us how spiritual principles can form the backbone of civil order, linking personal morality with public responsibility. His emphasis on learning and ethical conduct reflects a belief that inner refinement and outer service go hand in hand. In the Analectics, Confucius says, I am without secrets. There is nothing I do that I do not share with you. His I am is not divine but transparent, an openness to share wisdom freely. It tells us that truth is not hoarded by the few, but belongs to all who seek it. This echoes the spirit of other teachers who revealed not only the law of God, but also the openness of the divine heart. Jainism traces its history through 24 enlightened teachers, whose lives stretched across vast ages. Its central message is one of nonviolence, self-discipline, and respect for all life. In a world often driven by possessions and power, Jainism's path is one of restraint and purity, showing how civilizations can be shaped not by conquest but by compassion. Its example challenges us to live lightly and honor the sacredness of all beings. In Jain scriptures, the I am is one of discipline. I am a chaste Shramanana. I have no property. I do not cook my food. This is the voice of complete detachment from worldly ties. It stands as a reminder that spiritual power can come from letting go, trusting that the soul's worth is not measured by what it possesses, but by how it lives in harmony with truth. Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, is one of Mesoamerica's most reverend figures, linked to wind, learning, and the renewal of life. Among the Toltecs and later the Aztecs, he was seen as a bringer of knowledge, arts, and moral order. His image bridges earth and sky, symbolizing the union of the physical and the spiritual. Like other teachers across the world, he calls his people to live in balance and to honor the gifts of creation. In the stories of his reign, Quetzalcoatl is a sage king who ushered in the age of peace and prosperity, the Turquoise Age. His leadership wove together spirituality and governance, reminding us that civilizations flourish when guided by moral vision. In his I am, as ruler, teacher, and servant of the divine, he stands alongside other figures of our timeline who saw leadership not as domination, but as stewardship. Jesus of Nazareth is central to Christianity and revered in Islam and the Baha'i faith. His life and his teachings placed love, forgiveness, and humility at the heart of spiritual life. Through his words and actions, he called for the transformation of both individuals and entire societies. In him, many see the union of divine and human, God walking among us, bringing a measure that still shapes cultures worldwide. When Jesus says, "Before Abraham was, I am," he is placing himself in the timeless presence of God. It is a bold claim linking his mission to the eternal source from which all revelations flow. This I am reaches back to Moses' burning bush and forward to every soul who encounters the divine. It reminds us that truth is not bound by history, but is ever living. Muhammad, the seal of the Prophet in Islam, united the tribes of Arabia with a message of one God, justice and compassion. His teachings, recorded in the Quran, shaped not only the religious life, but also the social, legal, and cultural fabric of a vast civilization. His life illustrates how divine guidance can unify diverse peoples into a community bound by shared moral and spiritual principles. In the Quran, God declares, "Verily I am Allah. There is no God but I." This I am is a clear, uncompromising affirmation of divine unity. It calls believers to worship the one alone and to center their lives on prayer and remembrance. Across traditions, the same voice speaks, offering the sacred source from which life and guidance flow. Shinto, Japan's indigenous tradition, sees the world as alive with kami, spirits present in nature, ancestors, and sacred places. Its rituals nurture harmony between people, nature, and the divine. Over centuries, it blended with Buddhism, showing how tradition can coexist and enrich one another. Shinto reminds us that the I am of the sacred is often experienced through the beauty and power of the natural world. In this Shinto story, the I am is a declaration of divine origin. It reveals how ancient cultures often saw human and divine intertwined, with rulers and heroes tracing their lineage to the gods. Such stories rooted societies in a sense of sacred identity, shaping their values and their relationships to the land and its mysteries. Among the Lakota, white buffalo calf woman is a sacred messenger who brought the 7 sacred rites. Her story is one of gift-giving, moral guidance, and the promise of return. She embodies the belief that divine help comes when people are in need, offering ceremonies that connect the community to the Creator, the earth, and one another. As she departs, white buffalo calf woman promises, "I shall see you again." This is the I am of hope, an assurance that the sacred presence will return to bring balance and harmony. It echoes the promise of many traditions that the teacher will come again, renewing the covenant with humanity. The great peacemaker united the Haudenosaunee nation under the great law of peace. His mission was not just political, but deeply spiritual, teaching respect, consensus, and shared responsibility of governance. By planting the tree of peace, he gave a living symbol of unity, its roots spreading to welcome all who seek its shelter. I am Daganawida. I plant the tree of the great peace. Here the I am is both identity and action, declaring who he is and what he brings. It shows that leadership grounded in the sacred seeks to create spaces of safety, justice, and belonging, where all can live without fear. In 1844, the Bob declared himself a messenger of God, preparing the way for a new era of spiritual renewal. His call was revolutionary, challenging old patterns, uplifting the downtrodden, and announcing the nearness of one greater than himself. His brief ministry shook the foundation of Persian society and inspired countless acts of courage. The Bob's triple I am is a cry of certainty and urgency. It speaks to centuries of longing, assuring the faithful that their prayers have been answered. His words remind us that divine promises are fulfilled in their appointed time, bringing fresh light to the world. Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, proclaimed a vision of unity of all peoples, races, and religions as one human family. Exiled and imprisoned for his beliefs, he still produced a vast body of writings that guide millions today. His teachings address not only personal transformation, but the building of a peaceful global civilization. Baha'u'llah's I Am shines with poetic beauty. I am the sun of wisdom, the royal falcon. I unfold the wings of every broken bird. It is the voice of divine compassion and empowerment, lifting the weary, guiding the lost, rekindling hope in a world ready for renewal. The Baha'i writings tell us that no new messenger will appear for at least 1,000 years after Baha'u'llah. Yet this does not close the story. It assures us that the guidance given now is sufficient for our age, that the I Am continues to speak through these teachings, calling us to apply them until the time comes for the next chapter in humanity's spiritual journey. Let us take a moment of silence, and in that silence, hold in our hearts the hope that the world might one day see itself as one family. O Divine Spirit, source of all names and forms, kindle in us the light of understanding. Remove the veil of prejudice, and let our hearts be bridges, strong enough to bear the weight of difference, wide enough to welcome all who cross.